Aloha and welcome. Mahalo for joining us today to celebrate a new piece of art in our community. My name is Ramsey Hawanio, and I served as a student representative on the art committee that worked with the State Foundation and Mr. Nakamura, our selected artist, to bring this public piece of art in Hawaii Public Schools. 3 years ago, when I was just in 4th grade, Innovation students were asked to choose a site for a piece of art to be installed on our campus for the entire community to enjoy. We had to choose between the location up by the new garden, the location down by the rock wall, the location at the corner of the middle school bathroom, and our favorite location here at the corner of the Performing Arts building where we explore learning through the arts. Mr. Nakamura spent time in our classes and offered us art instruction in different mediums as he gained an understanding of what learning looks like at Innovations, a school where the arts are a part of our learning and students are allowed to have choices in our learning, develop passions, and use our learning to make a difference in the community. Here we are 3 years later to celebrate this journey of art with Mr. Nakamura with the blessing and dedication of the art piece. Inspired by our learning journey as students, we are life voyagers, Kalai Ola, and excited to formally introduce this metaphor for learning to the Kona community. We'd like to welcome some very special guests who have made this work possible. Mr. Nakamura, the artist who worked with us for 3 years to design and create the art piece. We would also like to welcome members of the Kalai Va'a Voyaging Society who have provided knowledge, cultural relevance, guidance, and inspiration for the art piece and metaphor Kalai Ola. We'd like to welcome Kumu and Navigator Chad Paishan, Navigator of the Hokulea Mauili Dixon. And we would also like to thank members of the Hawaii State Foundation of Culture and the Arts. Please stand.
So aloha and welcome. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you to our beautiful campus and home of Kona's newest piece of art, Kalai Ola. Thanks to the inspiration and grant application authored by our very own Auntie Lee. Round of applause, Auntie Lee. Innovations was selected as the recipient of this public piece of art. Inspired by the time that Mr. Nakamura spent with us on campus 3 years ago, and if I recall correctly, he was very, very sick, but persevered. And the vision of education materialized into a symbolic image of navigating one's goals and dreams with the tools provided through academic and the arts. Mr. Nakamura's vision was informed by cultural relevance through Kumu Kiala Ching, who was unable to attend today's ceremony, and cultural mentors from Nakalai Va'a, and has become a metaphor for the Innovation's vision and mission, one that we strive to bring to life every day in educating the youth of our community. By living in this environment, engaging with students, and working with them through the mediums of art, Mr. Nakamura captured the spirit of Innovations, curriculum that integrates academic areas of math, reading, and writing with a breadth of art such as music, drama, technology, garden, sustainability, to encourage and inspire our youth to dream, to set goals, and to navigate through their journeys to achieve great things that will in turn benefit our community locally, nationally, and throughout the world. Students often ask me if I tell the news what we're learning in school, since it always seems that their studies are represented in the content of current news articles, on social media and TV. As the Hokulea and Makali'i led the news in both our community and the world at large in its worldwide voyage, they provided a model, mentors, and a vehicle for us to recognize the past, knowledge that continues to be relevant, and the importance of our role in building world peace. So too, our curriculum must be relevant. It must be grounded in current social issues and centered in a goal to create a world that will be a better place to live. Mr. Nakamura has become a member of our innovations family, and he has returned home to give back to the island community through his art. Thank you for capturing our vision and our mission through this art. It has provided us a visual model that will serve as inspiration and a reminder of the purpose of education and its role, the role it serves in our community for years to come. Innovation students continue to develop partnerships with cultural mentors such as Uncle Chad, Auntie Kiala, Uncle Maulili, Hokulea Navigator Paul Mai Bertelman, Kumu Kiala Ching, and artists such as Mr. Nakamura, who provide the fibers in our tapestry of education. This public piece of art reminds us of the importance of these partnerships as navigational tools that must be used in order to dream, to chart our paths, and set goals together. As the birds above the sail give us a signal that our destination is near, the stars guide us on the right path, and the wind fills our sail as it encourages us forward on our journey, so too these partnerships are integral to educating the youth of our community and leading us forward. So we thank you for these partnerships. We appreciate you being here and helping us journey in the education of the youth of our community.
Good morning. I'm one of 9 commissioners. There are 2 from the Big Island, myself and Jane Clement. And being a part of this whole process is one of the great privileges of being on this commission. Almost without fail, we have 4-year terms. When a commissioner reaches the end of their term, and at their final meeting, one of the things they always tell the remaining commissioners is that if you can get on one of these committees, do it. It's a great, great experience because it combines, it's right in the sweet spot of the things that we exist for. Education, art, culture are all combined in this process. And the process was, it was a long one. We started, I think our first meeting was in February of 2014. All of this was just a vacant field at that time. So we saw not only the development of the artwork, but we saw all of these buildings come into being. In the process, our committee, which was Pam Hart, Jennifer Hiro, Ira Yamagata, and students. Initially Sarah Chang, and later Ramsey. And if any of us ever thought, I'm sure the people associated with the school never thought so, that the students were there to watch adults do their thing. There were moments when I distinctly remember going home, my wife would say, well, how did the meeting go? And I said, you know, the meeting was great, but when the students asked questions, and we realized how important they were and how much thought that they had given to the whole process, it was really, it shouldn't have been surprising, especially at a school where art is such an important part of the curriculum. And we wish more schools had that involvement with the arts. So it's been a wonderful process, guided by Tricia Lagasso Goldberg, who's one of her functions as a project manager is to facilitate the process and to guide us through the steps and the decisions that have to be made. And what I really remember about this process was that when she would try to narrow down the choices as to what the theme would be, what the materials might be, the committee kept saying, well, no, let's wait. Let's let the process happen when Stuart gets here. And so many of the decisions that might in other places, often for good reason, have been made earlier, were put off by a school that trusted the arts, trusted the students to arrive at this result. And this is a process that, this isn't the end of it, this will continue because this will be a critical part of education here for the school and for the community. So I just wanted to express my thanks to the State Foundation and to the school to allow me to be a part of this. It was a really rewarding process to see this in action. And I'd like to introduce the next speaker, my friend, someone who's been so involved in education and the preservation of Hawaiian culture and values, not only across the state, but over the past 3 years around the world. Chad Paishan.
Mahalo nui, my friend. Aloha mai kākou. To the administration, to Janice, to all those that have been involved with the creation of Innovations Charter School. Mahalo nui for seeing the vision and for having the desire to want to give our community, our home, our children, the best education that you can see, that you can envision. To Stuart, mahalo nui for your passion of art, for seeing the vision all the way through to its completion. To all of our friends from the State Foundation of Culture and Arts, mahalo nui for your continued support and for your vision as well. You know, for all of us that stand on that have the opportunity to stand on the deck of the canoe, if not for a young man and his art of being able to create and to be able to give everyone a picture to see of what our culture and what our traditions look like. If not for that artist, I think for many like myself would have never gotten an idea of what we could be. So to Uncle Herb Kane, mahalo nui. To all of these students here at Innovations, mahalo nui for being brave enough to come to a charter school. To coming each day and to making a commitment to your education and to be able to really continue to set your course in your life of where it will take you. To really, for you to imagine, as I got to share a little bit with the 7th grade class this morning, as the Keala and Uncle Maulili and myself got to sit with you for a few minutes. Being able to see far beyond that horizon for yourself. And really, it's like this art piece that Stuart created. To set your sails, to be able to look up, and like for us, knowing that these birds are our friends, that they lead us to those places, they help us to get there. That you too will be surrounded by people that will be able to support you to get there. That you'll be able to chart your course to get to your destination. And my hopes is that you'll inspire someone else. As I've been able to be inspired by many people that sit here to this day, those that are no longer here, but even for you, Ramsey, thank you for being you, young lady. You too will inspire someone as you inspire me today to know that we have a great future coming from you. To each of you, from the deck of the canoe, and from all of us, from our voyaging ohana, this piece here is but a tool, but a tool is only good if you use it. I challenge you to use those tools that you're being given here at school. Use them to the best of your ability. Use that tool, because a lot of times when we use a tool so much, sometimes we have to go and get another. So I challenge you to use it till you need another. Mahalo nui again for inspiring all of us, for continuing to see beyond the horizon, for being those next voyagers for us. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo.
Foundation on Culture and the Arts.
Thank you. Good morning, and congratulations to Director Jennifer Hero and the Art Advisory Committee and all of you students at Innovations Public Charter School. You know, your school competed with all other schools in the state and were recognized as being very unique and worthy of this art project where you got to work with a professional artist to experience the creative process, something you guys do every day. It's apparent. Before I talk about the art, let's recognize a few partners here. From the Department of Education, we have a lot of people help make this happen. So Una Chen and I think Michelle Chun back here. State Foundation, we have lots of people here today. Trisha Legasso Goldberg was your project manager. She's here, and her supervisor Karen Ewald. Sherm Warner is our commissioner from the Big Island, and also Jane Clement. Stuart Nakamura, a name that's very familiar, was born on Oahu and went to college, something very important to do, at California College of the Arts. And you know what he studied? He explored the boundaries of realism and abstraction. And I think this work of art does just that. It compels us to search for something, for some idea, right? It makes us think. So you look at this and your brain is like, you know when your computer goes searching, right? So your brain looks at these ideas and says, what does this represent? So when you look at this, you can think about what's familiar. Is it the color? Is it the birds? Is it the shape? When we see familiar things in an unfamiliar way, we wonder, what do those birds represent? Okay? The sculpture becomes a portal for your imagination, okay? So you're fortunate, this work of art is meaningful, it's of this place. Students, never forget the creative process when you write and when you do music, not just when you draw and paint, but even, especially you guys over here, when you start thinking about careers, be creative in all you do. Stuart, you've set a high standard for artistic excellence, for public art, both on this island and throughout the state. We're grateful for you, and come on up here. Please help me welcome your artist in residence, Stuart Nakamura. Looks like you just graduated too, right?
Thank you, everyone. I am so honored to be in front of you. I have been doing public art for over 25 years, and nothing like this has happened before. So thank you for welcoming me to your ohana, and I'm grateful for all of you and meeting you each day, students in the classes. I'm going to read my notes because although I don't read notes when I teach class, in front of this big crowd and the hot sun, I'm going to make it bearable for you. First of all, I'd like to dedicate this to the entire school and to the partners who have worked so hard behind the scenes to get this possible. And also I'd like to dedicate this to the memory of my late parents, both of whom had some ties to the Big Island, and Hilo especially. Kalai Ola, Life Voyagers, is about how we can prepare ourselves to achieve our goals in life. Where are you going, my child? The artwork asks. From childhood to adulthood, we make adjustments to the course we take as we learn to navigate our way to our dreams on distant horizons. This process for many of us starts at home and at school, where we learn skills in life, reading, math, science, and the arts. For the navigators of Hawaiian voyaging canoes like the Makali'i, this process begins with years of learning the placement of the stars, the flight pattern of seabirds, the look and feel of the ocean swells, and the appearance of clouds to guide them safely to their destination. We are all navigating our ways to our goals, and we first start by knowing where we are. And where we are, this site was chosen for its view of the mountain and the sea, which I thought would embody the spirit of Hawaii'ne as well as tie together the upper and lower campuses. I started this 3-year journey alone to complete the project, but eventually involved many others along the way. This included the school's art committee, the state art program managers, a structural engineer, a Nakalai laser cutter, welder, concrete contractor, a shipping firm, crane operator, stone fabricators, a foundry, a kumu and a kahu, the school staff and administration and friends. I dragged a lot of people along the way. I had lots of support and even more after doing the educational component with the students. I learned a lot and made corrections in my navigation along the way to get to this point in my journey. I wish all of you success in your life voyages. The artwork belongs to all of you. Mahalo.
All right, at this time, we are going to learn the protocol for officially dedicating this piece of work. We're going to follow Daniel Kaka's guidance here. We'd like to have all of the members of the Art Advisory Committee please come forward to participate with this. And then Ava and Ko'ele, if you could please come up as well.
Thank you. You know, this the Maile that we have here, which are connected to each other, represents not only connection but unity. In Hawaii, the Maile represents the piko, that spiritual connection that we have to God, to Akua, to our ancestors, our kupuna, and to the Aina, to the land. And so now as we dedicate this beautiful artwork of Stuart Nakamura, this ceremony in which we have the ends of the maile touching the ground to make that connection to the earth. This ceremony is called okipiko, which means to cut. We're not going to cut with the scissors or with the knife, but by untying the maileles, it will be symbolic of cutting the piko, cutting the cord. You know, the Hawaiian people always felt that all things in nature have a life force. It has an essence. It has an intelligence. Everything, even things that don't move or talk, has that. And so, as we now dedicate this beautiful work of art, and maybe we'll have you folks come right in front of the leis on this side, if that's okay. And then, okay, we'll have the kids. Perfect. And then I will start the ceremony, and then I will give you folks the nod and just ceremoniously untie the leis, and then I will close the ceremony.
world, mama. People living like they ain't got no mamas. I think the whole world addicted to the drama. Only checking the things that'll bring you trauma. Overseas, yeah, we try to stop terrorism, but we still got terrorists here living in the USA, the big CIA, the Bloods and the Crips and the KKK. We've only got love for your own race, then you only leave space to discriminate, and to discriminate only generates hate. And when you hate, then you're bound to get irate. Yeah, man, this is what you demonstrate, but that's exactly how what anger works, operates. Then you gotta have love just to set it straight. Take control of your mind and meditate. Let your soul gravitate to the love, y'all. Young people get colder. Most of us only care about money making. Selfishness got us following the wrong direction. Wrong information always shown by the media. Negative images is the main criteria. Everything in the young minds faster than bacteria. Kids when I put the seed in the cinemas, yo. Whatever happened to the values of humanity? Whatever happened to the fairness and equality? Instead of spending love, we're spending animosity. Lack of understanding leading us away from unity. That's the reason why sometimes I'm feeling under. That's the reason why sometimes I'm feeling down. There's no wonder why sometimes I'm feeling under. Gotta keep my faith alive till love is found. People dying, children hurting, and you hear them crying. When you practice what you preach, would you turn the other cheek? Father, 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 help us and some guidance from above. People got me questioning. Imagine